What's happening, everyone? It's me, it's Count, here with another Pokemon Go video. Today I'm going to be talking about the summer events of 2019. I'm going to be giving my predictions on what they are going to be announcing on April 4th, which is of course just a couple of days away. I'm really excited about these announcements, mainly because of how well it went last year. Last summer was phenomenal when it came to these events. So this year, I really hope they step it up and do something even better. I actually think that there's going to be a lot of overlap with what they did last year. I think there's going to be a lot of Safari Zones and one Pokemon GO Fest. But let's talk in detail regarding these events and see how they are going to go. So if you end up enjoying this video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So last year we had a plethora of really nice events. We had a couple of Safari Zones as well as a Pokemon GO Fest. Of course, that was here in Chicago. I actually do not think Pokemon GO Fest is going to be in Chicago this year. I think they've given enough hints that it's going to be somewhere in a southern state. I actually predict that it's going to be in Texas or San Francisco. So why do I say that? Well, if you look at the announcement for the announcement, they actually said that we have to prepare our sunscreen, which means it's going to be in an area that is generally always sunny. I think for me in particular, this is pretty exciting. I mean, as much as I want them to come back to Chicago and as much as we want them back in Chicago, I would love to have an excuse to travel and meet other trainers in other parts of the world. I just hope that it's not outside of the United States. Of course, that's me being a little bit selfish, but I actually think for an event like this to be successful, they have to keep it within the States, because if you think about it, Pokemon GO Fest is the big event for Pokemon Go this year. So if you think about it logistically, if you think about it in terms of a planning point of view, it's just a lot easier if they keep it within the borders of the United States. That's just my opinion on it. So yeah, I actually think it could be somewhere like Austin, Texas, or even possibly somewhere like Scottsdale, Arizona, or Phoenix, Arizona. That would be really cool. But yeah, other than Texas and San Francisco, we could also see it in Florida. I think a lot of people who play in Florida have been wanting some kind of event to be down there. I could see it being in Nashville, Tennessee, because there is a huge Pokemon Go presence there. A couple of YouTubers are there as well, so there is that bit of familiarity with the Pokemon Go community and Nashville. I think that would be a really cool spot for a Pokemon Go Fest 2019. And of course, the biggest contender for Pokemon Go Fest 2019 is San Francisco. Now, why San Francisco? Well, it is a nice southern state where you require a lot of sunscreen, and it is where Niantic is located. So if they want to create a phenomenal event, why not have it in their backyard? I think that's a really great idea. Now, the reasons why I don't think Pokemon GO Fest is going to be here in Chicago this year is because of some of the conversations that I had with Niantic last year when they were here for Pokemon GO Fest. I was talking to them about why they came back to Chicago, and it seems like their main reason was to make up for Pokemon GO Fest 2017. They wanted to make it up to the local community here in Chicago, and I don't think their plan was to have Pokemon GO Fest be only in Chicago. I actually think it was something that they wanted to kind of tour around the United States or around the world with, and I actually don't think Chicago is the central hub for Pokemon GO Fest. Much like Star Wars Celebration, much like a lot of other traveling conventions, I actually think Pokemon GO Fest is going to be in another city other than Chicago. That is kind of like a bummer for me in terms of convenience, but I am excited at the idea of traveling for this event, so hopefully it'll be somewhere that I can afford. Now, in terms of Safari Zones, I really think they're going to branch out and hit a lot of places that they haven't yet already done. Of course, last year we had Mumbai, which was really cool. But this year, I think it's going to be in different places, possibly even South Africa. I think a South Africa Safari Zone would be phenomenal. I don't know where exactly in South Africa they could have it, but I'm sure they have people who are out and about scouting different locations. I think South Africa would be a really great place for Safari Zone. And of course, there's plenty of other places around the world where they could have a really successful Safari Zone. I do predict that there will at least be one Safari Zone in Japan. That seems to be the way they do it. And of course, there are other great places like Seoul, South Korea, of course, would be a great spot. There's a huge Pokemon Go presence there, and different parts of the world where Pokemon Go is kind of overlooked. I think that is a great way for them to kind of create a buzz around the game in certain areas. I mean, if you look at the Safari Zones from last year, they're areas that a lot of players would not have gone if it wasn't for a Safari Zone like Dortmund. I personally did not attend any of the Safari Zones last year, but it is my goal to actually attend at least one this year. So hopefully I will be able to, but who knows, it all depends on my work, it all depends on the amount of money that I have saved up. But yeah, I'm really excited about this year's lineup, mainly because last year it was just so much fun. It was really engaging. It kept people involved. I love the idea of having these tasks that last the entirety of a Safari Zone or a Pokemon Go Fest. I love the fact that we were able to unlock certain raid days. I would really like for that to return. I would like to see the 3 legendary beasts come back as special raid days with their shinies. That would be phenomenal. I am just counting down the days until I could pick up a shiny Raikou. So yeah, I'm super stoked about that. So yeah, of course, we're going to get our first Safari Zone event in Sentosa. I actually think this was confirmed by a lot of data mining and some leaks, and I actually think there's going to be another Safari Zone really quickly after, probably in May, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm actually really curious to see where they're going to host Pokemon Go Fest. That is the one announcement that I'm most looking forward to. Are they going to keep it in the United States? Are they going to have it in a southern city? Or are they going to bring it back to Chicago? There's just a lot of question marks that we just need to get answered. So super excited about that announcement. Now I do feel like they're going to switch it up a little bit and add some new things for this year. They might add something different other than a Safari Zone or a Pokemon Go Fest this year. Who knows, they might even have 2 Pokemon Go Fest. How insane would that be? But I really think they're going to start a new kind of event for this year. Maybe have it in a certain city, have it be some kind of worldwide research day of some sort, I don't know. But it really seems like they're testing the waters and trying to branch out in different parts of the game and trying to create events around those aspects of the game. Like, of course, we've had the raid days, we've had limited research days. We could most likely expect some kind of PvP event as well. I'm really curious, I'm really excited to see what they have in store for us as players. And of course, I think Pokemon Go Fest is going to center around Jirachi. I think that's kind of a given. A lot of people are predicting that, unless of course they release Jirachi as part of a special research quest. I don't think they are going to have anything else other than Jirachi for Pokemon Go Fest 2019. And of course, Pokemon Go Fest 2019 could have our first set of Worlds PvP matches. I'm really excited about that. It might be with the Sylph League, or it might be something that Niantic does themselves. I'm really curious to see if they are going to do anything with competitive PvP, or they're just going to leave it up for the Sylph Road. I really don't know. But in any case, I'm really excited to see what happens with PvP. I think the competitive scene is just really exciting, and a lot of players are involved in it, so yeah. But yeah, this is Niantic we are talking about. I'm really looking forward to all of the events this summer. I think something that Niantic does really well is build upon the things that are very successful, as well as try out new things. They're definitely not afraid to try out different things and make adjustments along the way. I'm really curious to see how these events are going to unfold, because they could be a lot better than they were last year, or they could essentially be worse. But it could only be great for the game. It could be only great for Niantic, because they could find a lot of the mistakes that they make, correct them, and make things better. They've been doing a really good job at doing that. They've been doing that with EX raids. They've been doing that with limited research, although I would say that with the Lotad research day there were a few problems, but again, I actually think Niantic does a phenomenal job learning from their mistakes, and they've definitely learned from their mistakes from Pokemon Go Fest 2017. It really showed in 2018, and I just cannot wait to see what they do in 2019. I think it's going to be phenomenal. So yeah, I would love to know your thoughts regarding this summer's lineup. Do you think Pokemon Go Fest is going to be in Chicago? Do you think Pokemon Go Fest is going to be in another city? Do you want Pokemon Go Fest to come to your city? List the reasons why. And yeah, if you ended up enjoying this video, share it with your friends, hit that thumbs up button, and if it's your first time here, hit that subscribe button as well. I am Count Jinsula, and I'll catch you all later.